Re-listen to Hear Me Out. This is Medium as a Message. Today we want to talk a little bit dating apps, but before we get into the details, I just want to see how everyone's doing today. And hopefully we're feeling good because I'm feeling not bad.
So glad to hear, Matthew. It is reading break here while we're recording this.
Yeah.
I don't know when this is going to be released, but we're currently in reading break. I am loving reading break. I don't know about you guys. It's been nice to finally take a breath, finally doing some reading here and there, but also feeling like I can have a life again. It's a joyous feeling. Amy, how are you?
Yeah.
Me? I'm good. I'm chilling.
Chilling.
Yeah.
Thanks for a lot of input in there.
Yeah. I mean, someone was rambling for the first two takes, so
Yeah, but I was going to get to it, but no one wanted to hear my get to it. No one wanted to hear my life story of today, where I went to the optometrist. But we won't get into there. We'll keep it real. But back into reading break. Chatter. I'm not feeling that great, but really break. I actually have a lot to catch up on because I've been leaving everything.
Yeah, me too.
I don't have a lot of hard deadlines this semester, so I've been pushing everything, and now I have a hard deadline Monday. But it's okay. Do you have anything like that pressing on reading break, or is your reading break is it like a stressful one, like maybe more on my end, or are you more in the MS side where it's a little bit more relaxed?
I think I'm in between. I have two paper proposals I have to submit. I have not started both of them. I've done all my readings for my classes though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm like half and half.
Yeah.
I think it's too short though. I thought 9 days would be enough.
Yeah.
It's not. I think it should be 2 weeks.
I agree. Speaking about half and half, it's kind of what I feel about the topic today, which is dating apps. I just wanted to ask you guys, just in general, how do you feel about dating apps? I'm in between because I think it's a good thing that's there because it's an option. I think options are good, but you can also argue that too many options are bad. I'm not a commie, but sometimes too many options are bad. I'll leave it to the floor to you guys. Whoever wants to answer first. What do you guys generally feel about dating apps?
I think I'm kind of on your side as well. I think it's such a mixed thing. It's you hear so many stories of people who meet on dating apps and they're in love and happy, and then it's wonderful and they have a happy life together. Personally, have never really been involved in them, but the times that I have, I definitely noticed that it can be very superficial and
Taxing.
a little oh my gosh, it feels difficult to connect to the person beyond the images that you see of them, and then it's it feels like I'm not even connecting to a real person, and then it feels kind of oh my gosh. Yeah. So Amy, what are your thoughts?
Me, I think it's a great way, and I think it's a good opportunity for people who are busy, but I am personally anti-dating apps. I think
yeah, strong. Okay.
I think it's just for me, or maybe it's just because I'm very idealistic and I like meeting people organically. But I think with dating apps, the whole purpose of you being there is it's this third space where you're finding other people who want other people. It's sort of the act of wanting to date, or maybe it's just that I don't think I've ever been in a position where I've been oh, I want to date someone. So that's why I've never used a dating app before.
What do you think? Maybe some people are like you, and then they get maybe a little bit older, and the woman's time clock starts kicking in. You know what I mean, right, ladies? And they're like, I want to find a man, and let's say they're working all the time. Do you feel like there's still a space in that? Would you think you would ever be at that point? Let's say you don't meet someone organically, and by the time you're a little bit older in life and you really want to settle down, maybe start a family. I don't know if that's what you're interested in or not, but let's just this hypothetical. Do you think there's ever a spot in there for dating apps in your life? Do you think, or would you just still hold out to find something more organic?
I think there are many, many, many ways to start a family beyond just meeting a partner
Sorry, I'm a little too traditional here, so my bad.
That's okay, that's okay.
Great question.
Well, yeah,
we'll scratch that question off the table, and we'll.
No, but I think you have a good point, because I think people are on dating. I mean, there's several reasons, but I think our age group, it's just more so testing the waters, sort of messing around, which I personally don't get. I think it's so taxing, and I'm a bad texter. I don't like texting, so I can't imagine texting and getting to know each person you talk to, what's your favorite color, where are you from, hearing 10 different people's backstories. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, I totally agree, because a little bit I feel like there's such a hard balance in terms of how to just talk to someone in that kind of space, because then you ask them questions, they're like, why are you interviewing me? And I'm like, well, what else are you supposed to talk about until you meet the person? But then you don't it's like when is it?
You don't want to
like,
meet the person until you talk to
like
them and
when
get
do
to
you
know them a little
yeah,
bit.
when do you find that transition? It's time or like not like. I feel like when you meet someone a little bit organically, like you can kind of catch more of a feel for the
vibe.
person, a vibe, or that's what the kids say nowadays,
Oh,
right?
see.
I would know, but I feel like it's putting people in a spot where they're losing I guess those kind of cues.
Yeah, but I want to preface, like, if it works, and I know couples that have met through dating apps, and it's been very healthy, very cute, but I just think that it's a really rare case that actually happens.
You have to sort through a lot of like crazy to get to that.
Yeah,
And it's like with the people that have it is great, but then it's having to go through that to me is a lot of effort that I'm very happy I don't have to go through.
and no shade to people who use it. It's just, this is my personal opinion, and everyone's different.
As like
We're not gonna go there.
before we get to like I don't want to get into this question. I don't want to dive. I don't want to
Jump the gun.
Sure.
Pull the trigger.
I don't want to dwell too much on this original question I had for you guys, but to close up on that part, I think it's a great space for shy guys like me.
Oh,
But I met my girl off the apps, so
see, it works.
that's why I'm in the mix zone. I don't know, but I have another question for you guys. But before we get into that, we'll take a quick little break. All right, and we're back. I just want to ask you guys another question here. Is like, how do you think dating has evolved since like dating apps kind of been normalized in society? Like, it's not like odd or anything. It's not everyone. If you have a dating app, it's like it's cool. It's not really stigmatized. I could think not to me. I guess. What have you guys seen?
I feel like it's just like convenience, just like most technological advancements.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
big words.
Yeah, I think it's just like since it's just like at the touch of our hands. And I think a lot of us, especially like our age group, we sort of have like that hustle mindset of like we have to do this, we have to do that, and being university students and also most of us working part-time or working full-time, I think there's just not a lot of opportunities and spaces to actually meet people, in like real life, unless it's like school, work, or through mutuals. So I think it's definitely helped, like
Fill in that little gap
Yeah.
that's like missing nowadays. I totally agree. Like, I don't.
I will
I think-
say
yeah.
though, I think dating apps have made it easier because I think a lot of people on the dating apps have commitment issues, and I think that's been
100%.
normalized. That's something.
Oh, having commitment as
Yes,
normal.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, that just-
I have a friend
Oh,
right now
yeah.
who's going through the whole like dating a bunch of dudes on the apps kind of thing, and she's which like we all go through that. You do you, Queen. But I think you're totally right. I think it's really like even if you say you're open to like it says in your profile like open to long-term relationships, often you'll meet up and then it's like, oh, actually like I'm not interested in that.
Yeah,
Or
like every guy and like his mom, they get cold feet. After they go on like the fourth date.
yeah.
They're
Or it's
like-
like the girl doesn't want to have sex and then it's like, oh, we're done.
Yeah, it's sort of like,
Yeah.
and it's always the same text messages of like, oh, I think you're a great person, but I don't think I'm ready to commit. And I think a lot of people, because I don't know if it's correlated with dating apps or our generation specifically, maybe because of the internet, it has an influence on like really committing, or like not even just relationships, just to anything. I think people are just scared of committing.
I think yeah. I think it's also a bit of like it's way easier to be a different person online than it is in real life, because in real life you can kind of catch that vibe of like, oh, maybe this person's not open to committing to a long-term relationship, but online it's way easier to just be like, oh yeah, I am, but then like when the when the time comes, it's too late.
It kind of reminds me of like I read something recently where like I think I don't remember what age, but it's probably like some kind of preschool or like younger like teachers that teach younger ages. They mentioned like how like a lot of kids are not like playing with blocks anymore, and they're losing that kind of like motor skills.
Yeah.
So it kind of reminds me also like a general theme. I think a lot of people kind of notice is that like people are younger. So I don't know if it's necessarily Gen Z or if it's like the lower half of Gen Z, so the younger ones.
Like Gen Alpha.
Or Gen,
Oh, God.
yeah, Gen A, yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, like into like more of that range where like they're just people, or because I think it's like a lot of things are these I don't know why like Google sends me these articles, but it's like those career ones where like business people are noticing a trend in like Gen Zs or something, and they're like they're lacking in like kind of like being able to like work and like be like communicate with I guess in that environment.
Yeah,
And
like
they're-
do real world things.
Yeah.
Like I had a like this is kind of reminded me of that. This is sort of it's not really involved with dating apps, but I work in customer service, and there's a kid who came up and didn't know how to count money. They were like 9, and they didn't know how to count
Jesus.
money, and I'm like, that's
Did you guys not see that like
I think also with dating apps, you're basically curating yourself. It's a curated image of how you want other people to perceive you. So of course you're not gonna post like, you know, the ugliest photos of you. You're gonna only post like the prettiest photos of you, some silly goofy ones, you know, saying I have personality. And like, you know, everything that you write is basically curated. You know, it's like your Instagram feed.
Yeah.
It's, you know, first impressions do matter. And it's just with dating apps, you're not gonna look for personality, because how are you gonna know the personality?
how would you say that it differs when it comes to like getting all dressed up and going to a bar and looking pretty compared to what you are like normally? Would you say it's like
I think because there's a lot of like posing and like, you know, you can pick the right angle, right picture when it comes to like
Facetune.
Facetune, like you never know what's real. But in real life, like you can't hide that. You can't hide like the pimples or the
Also like the vibe check of the person.
Yeah.
And if they're weird or just normal, because there's a lot of weirdos, surprisingly, you know.
and we're quick a little back here. We got another friend. Remember Kobe from the multimedia team? He's back in here.
I was just listening in my producer chair, but I was it had me thinking, because you said something about commitment issues, and like
Yeah.
I feel like everyone on dating app has commitment issues, and
All the people with commitment issues are
or
on the
dating
aim.
apps.
So
I
they're
think
all
it's a
not
self-fulfilling
committing.
cycle. Yeah,
And they're all on the same 4 apps, and they rotate
Yeah.
the 4 apps, and then they go off, and then they come back.
yeah. I think that's like a twofold issue. I think on the one hand, based on experience of a friend of mine, I feel like that sort of dating app relationship of being able to have like unlimited choice allows for some people to kind of create like a narrow niche of what they find as acceptable based on like, because you only have a couple of photos and maybe a sentence to prove yourself, so they can kind of create this like almost like a narrow vision of what they believe their type or their people that they would find attractive are, and that kind of informs what they then think of dating as a general, and maybe like boys or girls or just women, men, like that's what informs what their perception of that is. And I think that's just so flawed. Like if you go into society, you're going to discover that like most, you know, just people are different walks of life, but it just kind of, it's almost like an echo chamber, I think, in terms of like social sort of connections. And then the second half, I think that also kind of like that gamification, like you can just like scroll left, right. Why would you ever settle? Like as you said, like it's like, you know what I
You're
mean?
being exposed to all these different options. Then
Yeah.
like okay, like you
It's
know
like
that
you're
there's another-
shopping.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you know exactly.
There's no incentive to settle too. Like it's as easy as downloading an app and swiping left and right.
But I do think it varies depending on age. I think our age range, it's the commitment issues. But I think once you go a little bit older and you don't have those places to meet people, I think then the dating apps are like a little bit more less like an echo chamber, because I know like a lot of older people, like 40s, are on dating apps just because like how are they
It's-
gonna meet?
exactly, yeah.
So I think there is a pro to that, but I think I'm a little bit of anti and more skeptical towards our generation or our
Yeah.
age group.
I think you're onto something there. I think it's after like, I don't know what the demarcation is. I think it's probably like 30.
Yeah.
Like after 30, if you're on a dating app, your intentions are probably different.
Yeah, like you're probably thinking about like settling down or actually
Yeah.
finding someone.
Yeah, but in our age, it's very much like,
Hookups.
yeah, well, it's like the perception of being young is supposed to be like go out and experience things, right? And I think that's almost something that's like an idea that's sold to us. I think that's like,
I think it's a good thing.
I think it's a good thing. It's
Yeah.
like you should go out and experience things, but I feel like in a way that's how like people tell us to like I don't know. Like we end up on these dating apps because of that. We end up like going out and doing these things because of that. Like instead of I don't know.
Is it that really
It's
much
almost
of
like a societal
yeah.
pressure is what I'm trying to say.
And like maybe like the experience is a little bit hindered because it's a more of a curated experience instead of like going out drink, meeting a random person, seeing where that night goes.
Exactly.
You're like already met that person. You can then
You've taken the humanity out of the process.
Yeah.
It's like now it's literally just download an app. This guy looks okay. He has 3 gym photos. I'm gonna meet him for drinks.
Yeah.
Once you start holding a fish, like you don't, no one wants you anymore. Like,
Yeah.
or for me personally, when a girl was riding, like sitting on a horse, I was like, you know what, that's not for
Means
me.
cowboy
The horse
boots.
got her the
Yeah,
the
like
equestrian.
I'm not into the horse girls, right? So I was like, sorry, girl, you
I
ride a
think-
horse, I'm out of here.
Just
Fish,
like the
fish,
whole
man.
space of dating apps just is unsettling to me. I know this is totally different, but this is what I felt. But I went to like a bar in Japan, and it's basically where the men pay like a monthly membership, and the girls go and they get free food. But the deal is that they have to talk to these random men, and it's like a round robin style. And this place sort of curates like the vibe of like you're gonna hook up with someone afterwards. So you're talking to these men at a table, you're eating free food,
concept.
and then if you guys hit it off, you guys go fuck.
I don't know
And
how I feel
I
about
sort of
that.
like it reminded me of like
Live
a dating
action.
app where it's sort
Yeah.
of like you go there because everyone has that sort of like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like a recent
mindset of-
phenomenon of that kind of like or is that like a restaurant, like a bar that's always been a thing?
It's been I think it's new. I didn't know about it. Like I went because I heard free food. I didn't know it was because they give you an iPad and you could order like whatever you want because it's free for like the girls as long as you're talking to the men.
Did you have any good chats?
I was probably talking to some like dad, and also this was in Japanese, and I was like more nervous that like we would get kicked out because if you can't have a good conversation, you have to pay for your food, and we were eating a lot, and we were also drinking,
So they how what?
so they pay the monthly membership.
I understand like the conceptual. My thing's like, well, how are they gonna say like you're not having a good conversation with the men, so you gotta go? Like how does that?
So there's the iPad, right, and you could switch the people out, and the staff like the men could be like, oh, they're boring.
Whoa.
Like there's like this whole contract thing that you have to sign before going in.
That is like
And that reminded me of like IRL dating app,
that is literally what that is.
right?
That's crazy.
And it's sort of like you're sort of selling yourself in a sense.
100%. You're selling your
yeah.
attention. They're
Exactly.
they're paying for your attention.
Exactly. And it's like,
Whatever, like,
I don't know, but like have dating apps always had like the premium feature or was it
I
added
feel like
later
it's
on?
newer.
This
don't
is
know.
this is kind of like I've always thought about this. I'm like, what if dating apps didn't have the premium feature? Would that be better or worse?
I think better.
Then you're like filled with ads, more ads maybe. I don't know.
Well, like if dating apps weren't like a capitalist thing, like, if it wasn't a business model.
I think
you know, like, the
everything
whole
just turns like it just like turned into like a commodity.
Yeah.
But before I interrupted you.
Look, no, like, don't you feel like the whole like if you're not paying, what's that phrase? Like, if you're not paying, you're the
You're the
yeah. So like
you're
if
not paying,
if
you're-
they have that kind
you're
of
the commodity.
if they have that option for you, it's kind of like instead of like watching free news like news and then seeing the ads and that they're kind of theoretically controlled by ads. Those news companies, you pay for the news and then you're getting like.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe you think it's kind of giving us that. So is like the premium version that bad? Or like my other question for you guys: do you think is dating apps really the bad part of society, or like maybe this is big picture, but like is it the system or like the way society is? It's leading towards us needing these apps, and then they're just filling a role that we kind of need.
Not to be too comms, but there's this one quote by Andrew Feenberg. He used to be a prof here, but there's something where he says, the users control the tools, and in this case, the users would be us, and the tool would be the dating apps. And I think it goes for multiple things, and it's your intentions of it. I don't think the apps itself is bad because in some cases, like if you're over 30, of course it's a lovely way to meet people, but I think.
I agree. Like I think as well, we talked about this before we started recording, but like dating apps versus we talked to like dating like websites. Like most of us, no, I'm just kidding. But like most of us weren't old enough.
Hello, Cupid.
Exactly. Like the
It's
early
Christian Mingle for me.
like Christian.
Muslim Mingle too.
What's the other one? All the fish or
Flip
whatever.
flop, flip flop. That's me in my.
Omegle.
That was me in the early 2000s.
But like the OG, like the old dating, like when we were kids, like the kind of dating app.
Hello,
you,
Cupid.
You were kids. You like the ones that were on TV, and it was.
Yeah.
Of course, there was a business model to that, but it was truly designed to meet people, at least from our revisionist history.
Yeah.
Compared to like now, if you go on like Tinder or something like that, like especially I feel like as a dude, because I'm assuming they generate their money from mostly men paying for Tinder Gold,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm not sure how much it costs, but like I
Yeah,
can't
right, man.
pull that up.
I'm kidding.
I would know. No, but I just feel like now, like you said, like is it have a place in society? yes, like there's no way we can kind of get rid of that. It's a thing that needs to exist.
Yeah.
And it also is unfortunately something I think that also doubles as being a profitable thing. You can make money in that industry on like people's loneliness. So like I think that doubles as like a thing of like not only does it need to exist, it's something that will be pushed down our throats. Like they will continue to push it towards us.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought and like kind of sad. But like in relation to the whole like like websites before like filling that role, then as like apps came about, because obviously phones. And do you guys think that like the world be a better place if it was still just websites? So you need to like, it's less like gamified because you need to like put more effort in pulling the laptop out, signing in, clicking, instead of like on your phone.
Like
It's
pen pal style.
inherently like you're used to swiping on Instagram and stuff like that. So it's like inherent quick, right? But then the websites always a little bit slow. Like
Yeah.
like
Do you want to know how much Tinder?
How much?
Tinder Plus costs $24.99 a month.
24,
$24.99 a month for
Gold
Tinder Gold
costs
Plus.
39.
39. Imagine paying $39.99 or even 20.
Platinum.
I didn't know
Different
there's
tiers?
platinum.
49.99.
What are these
For-
buying?
Select.
Yo, I'm so behind.
$499 a month.
400 and what?
Invite only.
Oh, so it's like like that like celebrity
Raya or
like
whatever?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Celebrities are, like, high profile.
Honestly, like I think that it's so good for celebrities to have an app space like this, because I feel like celebrities like hold. I mean, no, you got Diddy parties to go to. So never mind, I tried.
Yeah, Diddy exists. But
Thanks, Diddy.
What
Thanks,
is
King.
what is the different tiers by you? Because
Hold
what
on.
isn't it the whole thing like someone has to swipe like if you're
Like
if you're
unlimited
ugly,
swiping
you're-
before whatever.
Yeah.
Like you buy your premium to get.
Because like
unlimited
if
swipe.
you're
What else?
like if you're ugly and you pay for the
Tinder Platinum.
$49.99, so I think it's the most expensive one that's not the
Selective. Yeah.
You get unlimited likes,
Unlimited likes.
unlimited rewinds,
Unlimited rewinds.
a Tinder passport. where
Tinder passport. What are we traveling countries?
Tinder Passport
Tinder
basically
Passport.
lets you swipe Tinders in different countries.
Let's just
Okay,
different
so
countries.
it is a
Oh
passport.
wow, making worldwide.
Current Tinder subscription or like no subscription only lets you find people
Like in that radius. Yeah. The regular radius.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you go worldwide.
Yeah, so if you wanted to find an Australian man, you gotta get to him.
It also gets you advertisement removal, 5 weekly super likes, 1 monthly boost, the ability to see who liked you, and new top picks daily.
That's not worth it.
You can also message before matching.
Take a
Oh.
cooking class, right? And then maybe I'll meet someone cute in there.
You see where
cooking,
the bus
yeah.
stop?
But you know what the interesting thing about this is? All of this used to be available with your regular Tinder purchase
Then they start like
before they started
See?
making
Yeah.
these tiers.
Give it
Yeah.
to you and they take it away.
I know.
Yeah, that's-
Make you buy it back.
I feel like that's like a lot of companies do. You know, did you hear like Air Canada is like removing like checked
Yes.
check on checked
I
in
think
bag?
before-
No,
don't
I
wanna
mean
interrupt
carry
you.
on bag.
Probably give
Yeah.
some context. We probably give some context to that because you didn't have a mic. But you were telling us that like this all existed previously in like the free version of Tinder, and then they've now added tiers to like break it up, and then are charging people what I think is ludicrous. Spotify is $5 a month. Why the hell are you
Yeah,
paying
like, you
$40
could
a month?
just Swipe right on whoever you wanted to. Now they limit the amount of people you can swipe right on. So like 10 people you swipe right on.
But it's a business model, so it does like everything's being commodified.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't, and I think it's a point that you mentioned, and relating back to your original question, I think that the websites were more so when I was a child, when I was seeing these ads, I thought they were marketed for older people, like 30.
They definitely did market towards
for
nowadays,
sure,
yeah.
for sure.
Right. Okay. And I think with Tinder, it's also very, I don't know the logistics of it, but the algorithm is, of course, if you're going to swipe, like the people that like the niche like category that you're going to like, they're going to pop up more. Because I feel like this could be so wrong. I don't know how Tinder works, but I feel like,
I feel like you're right.
you're going to pop up people that you're going to like more. So out of that selection of like, I don't know, 20 people, you're going to have like the same.
Building on that quickly before I come to you.
Yes.
Sorry.
Am I true? Is this right? Or
No, like
Like another part of it. But you
because I was gonna talk about like the algorithms. I'm not sure if Tinder's the same, but I did this thing on like TikTok for a class last semester.
Yes.
And TikTok, like they do not ever reveal how their algorithm works.
Yeah.
Like they will die before they tell you how the algorithm works. And I was gonna say,
that's
I'm
why
sh-
they want it banned.
exactly. And so I think Tinder's probably something similar. I'm assuming, again, I have no reason to believe this, but I'm assuming if you're paying, your algorithm's gonna curate more towards you getting more likes yourself. Because if I'm paying and I'm still not getting likes, what am I paying for? I have to see.
Or you're just flat out ugly.
Because if you're ugly, you're just ugly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you have a
Can't
bad
fix
Tinder
ugly,
profile, you can't. Like, unfortunately, if you have a bad profile, no one's gonna like you. But I'm assuming if you pay and if you have a bad profile, I feel like you're more likely to pay, which means you have to see kind of results from your payment. So that means I'm assuming your algorithm would change,
Or-
which means the free version would give you like an algorithm that's less successful.
Or you think
Yeah.
maybe if you're like the people who pay, their profile shows up more on other people's ends because they're
Oh,
paying.
right.
Like priority a little
Probably
bit.
that.
Yeah.
You oh, that's probably right.
Right?
That's probably how it
I don't
works.
know.
That
That's
makes more
what I'm
sense.
saying. I don't trust these apps.
They don't tell us how it works.
Yeah, I feel like websites. It just I know it's not organic, but it seems more natural.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
not there. Yeah.
I think it's also like not over like I feel like-
Stimulating.
yeah, maybe, but it's like since like apps are so easy, anyone can get it and they can care less. But if you're going all the way to pull out your laptop, going on and finding the right site, especially since they're not as like popular now, like find the right site where people are on there, then you like there's more people on there for more of a purpose, I would
Yeah.
say. So maybe it's less.
Yeah.
But you know what? Before we get to that, I think it's time to wrap it up this episode. I just want to ask you guys, but before we go, I want to wrap up. Let's wrap up with a single question. Something very simple is like, okay, there's apps out there, whatever. I don't think you can just take them away. So how would you make them better?
You can't make them better. It's up to the users. I am a firm believer in this. That's why I'm not on the app. I'm not shaming anyone who's on the app. You do you, boo. I'll do me. But I think it all depends, you know? And I think I want to retract my statement of anti-dating apps because I want to say pro websites, you know? I don't really
really?
think about that, but I think just the aspects of websites, it just seems a little bit more natural and
Yeah.
it seems a little bit more serious than an app. And
Yeah.
I think the connotation of an app has significantly changed over the years because of our age group or people who were in our age group. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
became sort of like a hookup and also hookup culture.
Kind of
Yeah,
like how
sure.
OnlyFans was just a general website for random things, I think.
Uh-huh.
And then it became what OnlyFans is known today,
Yeah.
right? So I think something similar to that vein, probably like Tinder.
It's
and all that
used the
stuff.
way people
Yeah.
choose to.
And like
so.
Kofi said, like for most apps, like the features are there, but then they start commodifying it.
Yeah.
So it's basically, you know, they're taking it away.
That's my point. If I could change it, and this would never happen, but I would get rid of the profit-driven model and go to like a website, like
Yeah.
you said. Like go to something where maybe this is where people have to come together and some nice soul has to create it, but like make it like a benevolent thing. Like this is purely for people to meet other people. Let's not make this like a situation where I am trying to get every dollar imaginable. Because I do know that I think the company that owns Tinder owns like Bumble, Hinge, Tinder.
Oh, really?
They own everyone. It's one company.
Hinge is a little bit more like Hinge and Bubble have a better reputation.
Is
Yeah,
it
yeah,
Shaw by any chance? Or tell us.
Rogers. No.
Is it Bell Media by any chance?
I don't know the name, but I know they have a monopoly over all dating apps.
Yeah.
So like, I always, in my mind, I don't know why, I always just think the world's evil and everything comes down to money.
I mean, you're not
But-
wrong though. I think you're
Yeah.
totally right on that.
Yeah, I just
Bang
They're
on.
giant conglomerates. All they care about is
they
money.
don't care about you; they care about money.
If there's any software engineers out there want to meet my
$1
friend
million
Kofi
dollar.
here.
Oh, not $1 million idea. A $0 idea.
Matthew and I are cooking.
Yeah,
The
we're,
yeah, learn some.
we're ready to go. To close, I'll say what mine is. I think it's an app where you go on, or maybe like taking your guys' deal, it's maybe just solely a website or both or whatever. But I think it's instead of swiping on people, you swipe on places you want to go tonight. So like bars need to sign up to go on this app, and like, oh, this bar looks cool, I'll swipe on it. Then people kind of get, maybe I don't know if swiping on makes sense or just kind of, I don't know how like swiping what it would signify to the bar, but it just shows you where place people are going tonight, and then maybe something like that. But it focuses on bringing people together in person, so you know when you go on this app, you're going somewhere to meet some people in person. That's my suggestion.
In Korea,
Yeah.
they have an app like that. for
Oh, damn it! Damn it! I thought I got.
Yeah, yeah.
When you go to barbecue, you can't eat alone. You have to order like a yinbun, which is like 2 portions.
Okay.
So there's people on apps being like, do you want to get like pork? Like, you know? Or, like, do you want to
This
get
would.
beef?
Don't get
I'm
some meat.
amazed this isn't here already. Like this is. I was about to say that is $1 million idea you just had right there.
I thought it was too.
Yes.
But yeah, but there's an app where you just meet up with strangers to eat food because in Korea you can't eat alone for certain items because the portion is too big that you have to, unless you're gonna eat it all. But it's like the portion is usually
It's not
for
designed
people.
for
Yeah,
right
so
person.
they do have an app like that, but it's not like dating. It's more so like you eat and then you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I mean, you can make friends with that as well.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think
That's
yeah.
that is
You cook there.
that.
Oh,
you could-
thank you.
That,
I need to
is
hear that
tr-
today. Yeah.
Maybe you should take some coding classes. I think you're onto something.
I mean,
Maybe.
if you take the dating aspect out of it, I am all in for
Well,
it.
I guess in this theory,
Yeah.
there could be, and also like, you
another
know, like
subsection?
subsection for
We
just for
could be on
fans.
complete
just
BS.
Dinner
I'm sure
for
this
two?
exists. Like,
I was saying
I'm
be
sure
surprised, and it did not work because it did not make money. So there's that.
Clearly, because they have $400 subscriptions.
Yeah. But
Should we leave it at that?
that's a good place to end it.
All right, everyone. That was Hear Me Out, Medias and Messages with the multimedia team. See you guys next time. Bye.